Welcome back to Parnasa Insights into the Parsha. We welcome all of our listeners, including our Torah Anytime listeners around the world. Erev Parshat Vayechi. So connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, connecting to Hashem, we can be standing in shul there with our sitter. And it's really an achievement for us, especially in our days, to be able to feel connected to Hashem while davening, sitting with our sefer in front of us and feeling connected to Hashem while we're learning Torah, while putting money in the tzedakah box or kal v'chomer, giving it to a person and feeling connected to Hashem while doing mitzvahs. It's something that we all strive for. But what about feeling connected to Hashem when you're sitting in your office, when you're sitting there behind your laptop, arranging your spreadsheets, coming up with your schedule, on the phone negotiating with a business partner, speaking to clients? Connecting to Hashem when you're at work. In this week's Parsha, we're told, Vayechi Yaakov 𝗟𝗘𝗧'𝗦. And Yaakov lived in Eretz Mitzrayim. The 𝗧𝗛𝗦 speaks in a few places in his sefer. In this week's Parsha, Vayechi Yaakov, what this means is that Yaakov had the ability, and Yaakov did, to experience chiyus, to experience connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even though he was where? He wasn't in Eretz Yisrael anymore. He was in Eretz Mitzrayim. Right? If you think that your office is bad, I can imagine being in Mitzrayim. And Yaakov had this ability to be able to feel connected to Hashem even there. Now, how did he do it? So the 𝗧𝗦 speaks about this midah of Yaakov Avinu, the midah of emes, the trait of emes, that Yaakov had this ability that whatever situation he was faced, even though he was from an external perspective, he was in this particular location, he was able to dig deeper. Right, the midah of emes, of being able to see behind the smoke screen and recognize there's HaKadosh Baruch Hu in that place as well. And for us too, the Parsha is giving us a chizuk, right, as Bnei Yisrael, that we too have the ability not just to feel connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu when we're involved in our Torah, when we're involved in our Tefila, right, but even when we're out in the workplace, even when we're out on business trips, right, we know from Friday night, from this week's Parsha, we see, right, the bracha that we give to our children, right, that our children should be like Ephraim and Manasseh, right? And many speak about why is it specifically out of all the Shvatim, why Manasseh and Ephraim? And the explanation that's given, right, is because it was Dafka, Ephraim and Manasseh that had the ability to be in Mitzrayim. They grew up in Mitzrayim. They didn't grow up on Yaakov's lap, right? They grew up in the palace. Right, they grew up in the palace of Paro, right, different stages right of their life where they were, but they had the ability to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even in the office, even when involved, right, in paying bills and dealing with taxes and involved in Gashmias. That's where they had the ability to connect to Hashem, and that's the bracha that we give to our children. How to be able to do this, right? Not just to be able to survive when we're involved in work, but to be able to thrive when we're involved in work, is really the flagship of everything we're doing here in the Space Medrash and in Pilzno and in Work Inspired. Really, this is the mission, and this is what we're empowering people to do. We're going to be rolling out an invitation to more of the global community to join us in the chabur that we've been giving over the past year of how to be able to do this, how to be able to understand the sugya of money, the sugya of finance, the sugya of work, the sugya of jobs, the sugya of career, and to be able to utilize it as a way to connect to Hashem, as Hashem wants us to. But just for one small idea here today, to walk away running into Shabbos, one thing that we see is that when we're able to do this, this is what brings us hatzlacha. We know that the father of Ephraim and Manasseh, Yosef 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 was also the Ishmael tzliach. If we look at the Torah, who was the person that had the most success? He's called the Ishmael tzliach when it comes to his business dealings. That's Yosef 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 and the Degel Machane Ephraim, the grandson of the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, says in Parshas Vayechi that this word yatzliach, hatzlacha, is connected to the word tzlach. And the word tzlach, tzadik lamed ches, right, he brings from Lashon and Sefer Yehoshua, tzlachas hayarden, the ability to be able to split the sea. And what the Degel Machane Ephraim tells us is such an important lesson. It changed my life. Bezos Hashem will change yours. Is that the key to hatzlacha is that whatever you're facing, whatever client you're talking to, right, whatever website you're on when you're at work, whatever you're facing in your realm of work, you have the ability tzlachas hayarden, to be able to break through it And to be able to recognize that in this place, even in Mitzrayim, wherever you are, wherever your work is, you're able to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is what Yosef at Tzaddik was able to do. And that's really the bracha, right, that I give to each one of us. Is it easy? It's not easy. The Sfas Emes in this week's Parsha says a beautiful thing. He says, Yaakov Bikesh, right, we know from the Parsha, Yaakov wanted to be 𝗟𝗘𝗧. So he says, do you know what Yaakov Avinu wanted to do? Like any good Zayde, he wanted to make it easy for the grandchildren. Yaakov Avinu wanted to be able to give that gift to his children, to his grandchildren, to us. That we should be able to be in a place of work. We should be able to be in a place of our office where we think, where is HaKadosh Baruch Hu? And we should be able to easily connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what Yaakov Avinu wanted, that even in the Hester, we should be able to connect to the Pnimius. Just as much as when we're in the base medrash, just as much as we're in the Daf Yomi Shir. That's what Yaakov Avinu wanted to give to us. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't let him. Because in the world that we exist in, the world of the Olam, the Elam, the Nelam, right, it is challenging, but it's something that we need to walk into our offices each day to recognize as Bnei Yisrael, Bnei Ephraim, and Menashe. We have the ability to do that, and when we do that, it brings a tremendous nachas to Hashem. A tremendous nachas to Hashem. Please be in touch to find out more about how you can be able to really conquer and acquire this sugya for yourself. I wish everyone a wonderful Shabbos.